The Finals is a destructive shooter that has become very popular. It's usually fun, but can get annoying when you consistently lose. That's why in this video, I'm giving you 10 of the biggest tips and tricks for the Finals. Let's get into it. The number one tip I have for the Finals, and the most important one, is to play with your friends, or in an actual dedicated team. Do not play with randoms. I repeat, do not play with randoms. There is voice chat in the Finals, but nobody uses it. Most randoms are not at the desired skill level you would want them to be in. They usually won't help out as much as you want them to. If you don't have any friends, I suggest maybe hopping into a Finals Discord server and finding some teammates that you enjoy playing with. Tip number 2. Not using the right equipment. The Finals gives you a wide selection of equipment that fits with multiple playstyles, so make sure you're using the right equipment if you want to win. Lights, you have the most amount of weapons, and all of them are good. But I would recommend using the XP54, V9S, and the SH1900. For your specialization, you can honestly run whatever you want, but make sure you're using it depending on the map. I usually always run the cloak. For you medium players, I feel the best thing to run is the healing beam, because it can really help out your teammates survive long enough for the cash out to be finished. For medium guns, you should run the FCAR, Model 1998, and the AKM. FCAR will kill faster, but it's harder to use because of the 20 mag size. The shotguns in this game are insane. Massive damage when used in Model 1998. The AKM is more useful for medium to long range encounters. It has a large mag size and a decent fire rate. For the heavy build, I would run whatever specialization that you want, but charge and slam is the worst. Goo gun is very useful for blocking off areas and creating defense, and the mesh shield will protect you and your teammates. The M60 is good damage, but a lot of recoil. I would run the Lewis gun if you're a beginner. The SA-1216 is good if you're very close to your opponents. The MGL-32 is good damage when you hit direct shots, but it's hard to aim with, so it's probably not the best pick. And the flamethrower has very good damage and fire rate, but the range is very low. Tip number 3. Learning recoil patterns. This tip can also go with learning weapons and equipment, but most of the time, you're going to be using the guns. And guns in the Finals have recoil. If you don't know what this means, guns will move away from where you're aiming. It would always go the same way in the Finals. To counteract this inaccuracy, you can move your mouse or controller the opposite way that the recoil is going. For example, so if the recoil is going up, put your mouse down or your stick down. The Finals does not have hard to control recoil, so you can learn this quickly and start melting your enemies from afar. Also, learn how your equipment works and get creative. Tip number 4. Get the best settings. I hope that when the Finals sent you to the settings when you first came into the game, that you actually changed your settings, especially audio and controls. Footsteps in the Finals are extremely easy to hear. When you start actually listening to enemy footsteps, you will start to notice a lot more things. And with this, you need the right settings. In audio, I would turn the music off, but that's optional. If you really like the music, just keep it on. Just make sure you will be able to hear things that are happening in game as well. I personally think the Finals is too loud for me, so my master volume is a little lower than what you should probably have it. I would turn SFX down a little bit to make sure you can hear other things just as well. Now dialogue volume. Turn this down to 60. This will actually go with another tip in this video, so make sure to keep this on. For the output mode, you should usually have it to stereo/headphones. Crosshair is also extremely important. You can go with whatever color you want, but I would pause the video and copy this to your game. Tip number 5. Listen to the announcers. The announcers might seem useless, but they hold key information about what is going on during the match. The announcers tell you when there is one person left on the team before they are wiped.
Only one contestant left for the Steamrollers.
When a team is wiped.
That's a blow to the Retros. Team wiped.
When a team opens a vault.
The tough shells are busy busting into Vault 2.
And more. You don't have to have this extremely loud, but the information that they give can most definitely help you out in your games. Tip number 6. Use more throwables and using them correctly. You've probably seen these around the map. You realize you could pick them up and throw them at people, but you don't use them much. Well, you're making a huge mistake. Using throwables is one of the most important things in the finals. Using throwables, you can defend a cash out, destroy walls to rotate faster, wipe enemy teams, protect your cash out, and more. It's crucial that you use them. But even more important is if you're using them correctly. You know about the goo canisters that are lying around. You can pick them up and use them to create a defense around your cash out. You can also use it to block off enemy teams chasing you. You're about to die and a team is about to steal the cash out at the last second. Throw a toxin near the cash out. Any team that tries to steal it will die before. Need to go through a wall? Use the explosive. I'm going to give you tips for every throwable. I've already given you tips for the toxin and goo. Let's move on to the flammable canister. When you pick it up and throw it, you will notice it takes a while to explode. You can ignore this by picking it up and meleeing it 3 times, then throwing it and shooting it. This will allow you to control when it explodes. Now, a tip for the explosive canister. Have you ever thrown it at something and it just flies away? Well, you can actually use it close range if you pick it up, throw, and as soon as you throw, you click the button or bind to pick it up again. This will allow you to use it at close range. But beware, if you hold it for too long, it will explode in your hand. Now, powder might seem useless, but when you throw powder at flames, it will make them disappear. Same thing happens when you throw flame at toxin. Tip number 7. Destroying buildings for better positioning. When you're at a cash out, you can use throwables or equipment to make holes and to reposition the cash out. This could be useful if you're trying to throw grenades at enemies from above. You make a hole above the ceiling and then you can just start to shoot and chuck equipment at the other contestants. You can also use this to reposition a bad cash out spot. If you see that your cash out spot is a very closed in, and the enemy team can easily throw grenades and throwables, you can make it bigger by destroying the building around you. Tip number 8. Having a role. This tip goes especially well if you have a built team with your friends or a dedicated team with other people. Having a role, and the right one, can increase your odds of winning massively. If you're a medium build and you have a healing gun, pay attention to your teammates. Stay close to them and focus on their health. Heal them when you can. This will ensure the survivability of your team and increase your odds of winning. If you know you're the best fighter in your team, go off and make sure you're the first person to fight teams. Secure kills and clear out cash outs and deposits. If you're more of supporting your team other than being a healer, go with the heavy class. Use the dome shield to protect your teammates while they steal a cash out. Use your mesh shield to allow your team to move forward to objectives without taking any damage. If you figure out your role and play the role efficiently, you will win many more games. Tip number 9. Learn the movement. Learning the movement in the finals will allow you to traverse around the map faster and maybe even outplay your opponents. Did you know you can scale buildings like this? Yes. And did you know that your mantle reach is way longer than you think? You can also make your slide short or make it really long. Go into practice and experiment and try to do some things with the movement and experiment with movement utility as well.
Not what you wished for?
Number 10. Staying together. How many times have you noticed that your teammates are nowhere near to help you out? Probably many times. Try to stick together at all times. When you stick together with your team, you will have a much higher survivability, and you will also wipe teams and capture objectives much easier. When you stay far apart from your teammates, they can't help you, and you can't help them. You guys will all just be wiped one by one until you lose. That concludes the video. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys found this video helpful, hit the like button, and maybe even the subscribe button. It only takes 2 clicks to support me. If you watch the video till the end, comment finished. Till the next video, peace.